Birds play different functions and different roles to us as human beings. They have that aesthetic value where other people just appreciate their beauty and just appreciate their characteristics, that sound that they give in the morning and how beautiful they are. According to our Zimbabwean laws, we've got specially protected animals which are classified into two parts. We've got mammals and also we've got birds. So in as far as the mammals are concerned, because these are most of them are mostly big animals like the rhinoceros, the cheetah. You might not find any on wetlands, but when it comes to birds, we've got several birds which are classified as specially protected birds, like all hawks, cranes, flamingos, pelicans, you name it. And we know that birds usually actually use wetlands as their habitats. Those are their breeding and their nesting grounds. So we have certain specially protected birds that are found in wetlands. We have the Environmental Management Act, Section 113, which specifically talks about the protection of wetlands. It states that it is an offense. No person shall reclaim or drain or tunnel or disturb or introduce any exotic animal or plant species on any wetland. If anybody contravenes this Section 113, it is an offense that attracts a fine not exceeding level 8 or imprisonment up to a maximum of 2 years, or actually the court may order both a fine and imprisonment. So yeah, we do have laws that protect these wetlands. The EMA Act, to be specific. And moving away from the EMA Act, which is intentional about protecting wetlands, we have the the Parks and Wildlife Act, which then protects the animals specifically. So the Parks and Wildlife Act protects these birds and regards them as specially protected birds. So if anybody is involved in any offense that kills or moves or destroys these birds, one can be found wanting under Section 43. This is the section that protects specially protected animals in general. And the penalty provision for any offense to do with a specially protected animal or specially protected birds would be a imprisonment up to 3 years as well. From a layman's point of view, and as somebody who grew up in therein, where there were quite a number of wetlands, and have seen those wetlands being destroyed due to urbanization and due to industrializations, I can say that there has been a decline of those birds and those animals that you used to see in those wetlands, because it is quite common. It's quite common sense that when you destroy their habitat where those birds were nesting and breeding and feeding, and replace it with concrete, you will definitely not find those birds anymore. So there's been a disappearance of those animals. Whether they've migrated and whether they died, I wouldn't really know, because I'm not really an expert. But from a layman's point of view, and just as somebody who grew up and has been exposed to areas, living in a neighborhood with wetlands, I, for one, do not see those particular birds anymore. So to certain people who are bird lovers, who are bird watchers, who are obsessed with birds, it has and it had a negative impact, because they no longer benefit from that aesthetic beauty that they got from birds. And also we have birds performing different functions. We know that we've got birds like the vultures, which are cleaners, which are meant to clean the environment for us. And when we destroy habitats where these birds live, then it means that we will be giving other animals to be other scavengers to take the role which birds used to perform. And also, really, it's not about the birds per se which are really affected, But as people or as animal lovers, we are just concerned about the habitat. We cannot talk about the protection of animals, or we cannot have the interest of animals at heart and not have the interest of the environment in general, because animals live in an environment. A wetland is a habitat, a dry land is a habitat. So as people who are concerned with animals, we are not concerned about animals only, but we're concerned about the trees, the grass, the water, everything at large, because this is where our animals live and this is where our animals stay.